All praises to Yahweh Basham Yahweh Shai, Basham Makar Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. This is going to be a video going into how or what a person that believes in the Lord is supposed to resemble, or what they're supposed to be like according to the scriptures, man, alright? And I'm going to start off by saying this. A Hebrew Israelite's existence is supposed to rub the wicked the wrong way, right? They're supposed to be angered that we even exist according to the scriptures, right? This is Proverbs chapter 28 and verse 4. They that forsake the law praise the wicked, but such as keep the law contend with them. And this isn't a lesson with me going on like, oh, I'm keeping all the laws and I'm super righteous, because I guarantee that people could find more than enough things to say about me where they could be like, man, this guy did this, he did that, he did this, he did that. I guarantee, right? I ain't trying to say that I ain't trying to say that I'm super righteous and that I'm keeping all the laws, man, because you'll know I'm a liar anyway. If I say that I'm keeping all the laws and I haven't sinned or I don't sin, you'd know I'm a liar. So there'd be no point me saying that, right? They that forsake the law praise the wicked, but you ain't supposed to reject the Yahweh's laws neither. But such as keep the law contend with them, and our life is supposed to be more righteous than the wicked's life, right? And in doing that, our existence rubs them the wrong way to where they don't even want to see us. They don't want to even see us alive, man. That's what we're supposed to be like. We're supposed to be a thorn in their side with how we are, man. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 1 and verse 12. Seek not death in the era of your life, and pour not upon yourself destruction with the work of your hands. So we ain't supposed to go around living in a way that's wicked, that ultimately is sinful, which ultimately leads to death, because Romans 6 and 23, the wages of sin is death, but the gift of Yahweh is eternal life through Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, our Lord. Verse 13, for God made not death, neither have he pleasure in the destruction of the living. Right? Yahweh don't want us to die. He made us to be immortal. Verse 14, for he created all things that they may have their being, and the generations of the world were healthful, and there is no poison of destruction in them, nor the kingdom of death upon the earth. For righteousness is immortal, so we're supposed to be righteous, and in doing that, be immortal, right? Verse 16, but ungodly men with their works and words called it to them. Well, what did they call to them? They called to them death. And even us, the Israelites, we call death to us by following after all the other nations too. But ungodly men, verse 16, but ungodly men with their works and words called it to them. But when they fought to have their friend, they consumed to naught and made a covenant with it. They made a covenant with death, man. The elites of this world have made a covenant with death because they are worthy to take part with it. They're worthy to take part of death. And that's why when you go to the book of Obadiah, right, the judgment of the Edomites is death, right? From the root to the top of the tree. The whole thing is condemned to that judgment, man. Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 18. And if you haven't read it, read it. It's a book in the Bible that Christians ain't really going to go into, right? Or will somehow be able to go into that book, but yet still say that God loves everybody, which is ridiculous. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2 and verse 1, for the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, but not aright. Our life is short and tedious, and in the death of a man there is no remedy. Neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave, which ain't true, because Yahweh Shai returned from the grave, which shows that despite all this talk of all these people, they don't really believe that Yahweh Shai resurrected from the dead. These Christians don't really believe that. That's just a story that they like, that makes it that because the image is pushed as them, it seems like, oh, see, we're righteous. We would have died for everyone on the earth, for all nations. When you look at how they live, this nation of people, don't do that. They harm everyone, even themselves. They harm the food. They lie all the time, right? They don't even know how many genders there are. They just lie about everything. It's not a nation of people that you can see and be like, oh yeah, these people are righteous. No, they are not. They are not righteous at all. At all, in any way, shape, or form, and they are not righteous. Verse 2, for we are born at all adventure, and we shall be hereafter as though we had never been. For the breath in our nostrils is as smoke, and a little spark in the moving of our heart, which being extinguished, our body shall be turned into ashes, and our spirit shall vanish as the soft air, and our name shall be forgotten in time, and no man shall have our works in remembrance, and our life shall pass away as a trace of a cloud, and shall be dispersed as a mist that is driven away with the beams of the sun and overcome with the heat thereof. Now, this particular part, they are saying it right, man. This part's true because the name of Esau is going to be erased out of the world. But the way how they're going about thinking that they can do all of these things and get away with, mate, they're wrong, man. But the name of Esau and the remembrance of their works is going to be forgotten. People ain't going to remember Starbucks in 2,000 years. People ain't going to remember Taco Bell in 2,000 years. People ain't going to be like, man, yo, I wish I could get a KFC right about now, you know. They ain't going to be saying that. They're going to be getting a fresh chicken from their house. Even a heathen, even a person that's considered of a lower class, is going to be able to go to their back garden, get a chicken, right? Make the chicken perish, make the chicken sacrifice its life so that they can eat food and eat it. Even a person of a lower class is going to be able to do that. Whereas in this world, mate, you have to get some frozen chickens that ain't no telling how long it's been in the freezer. If you're at the proper lowest class, or you might have to eat something that's moldy, man. I saw a video of what they do in the Philippines, in a part of the world that's very poor in the Philippines, and they have to go to where they fry chicken, like at restaurants where they fry chicken, and they collect all the fried chicken, wash it off, right, rinse it off, clean it, right, then re-season it and refry it so the chicken's got fried twice, and then they've got a particular name for it, right? But that's what happens when you pour in this world. But in the kingdom of heaven, we ain't gonna be having these heathens have to do that. They're gonna still be able to eat food after they've been punished, of course. Because the things that's happened to us in this world and how everyone rejected us being Israelites, there has to be a price to pay for that. There has to be, man. For the sake of justice. Everyone is saying that about them people that are claiming to be the chosen right now, right? They're saying, oh, what's a good response? What's a good response? So what's a good response for what's been done to us? What's a good response for what's happened to us, man? They're talking about October this, October that, right? As if during the Atlantic slave trade, there wasn't hundreds of October 7th that we can speak on what would have been happening to us on those times, man. As if there wasn't loads of those times that there would have been a October 3rd too, January 31st, you know, August 29th. There would have been many dates, February 15th. There would have been many dates that we could have used to talk about the things that happened to us. But now all I'm hearing about is October this, October that all the time. But look at all the things that Americans did. Look at all the things that Americans did, man. How many different dates would the tribe of Gad, the Native Americans, have to mention in regards to what the Edomites did to them? Well, there was January 1st, and then there was January 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, the whole month. There would have been all them times. Verse 5. For our time is a very shadow that passeth away, and after our end there is no returning, for it is fast sealed that no man cometh again. But they are going to come back again. They think that they're going to do these things, do these crimes and perish, and then have got away with it. No, they're going to be brought back for reincarnation and have to pay for what they've did. So they are wrong in that regard, man. Yahweh brings men back on earth to pay for the things that they've did in their previous life, or to add even more crimes to their and more sins to their life, and then pay them back in that next one, man. But they think, oh, nah, if I leave the earth without going through these things, then I can escape. And that's why they try and always confess their crimes on their deathbed, man. Because they're like, well, no one can get me back for it now anyway. No, your tongue's condemned you, and we'll be catching you on the flip side when you come back again, man. You ain't escaping. You're going to be born in a gruesome, you might be born in a gruesome way when you come back on earth. But they don't believe that because they think these things not all right. Verse 6, come on, therefore, let us enjoy the good things that are present, Let us speedily use the creatures as in youth. Let us fill ourselves with costly wine and ointments. Let no flower of the spring pass by us. Let us crown ourselves with rosebuds before they be withered. Let none of us go without his part in voluptuousness. Let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place. For this is our portion and our lot is this. And that's why you'll always see Esau with the big boy car. Anywhere that you go, Esau can go there. Any idea that you have, Esau can do it better than you just by outpricing you or by making you build the company up and then just trying buying you out. All right, that's enough. That's enough of that Dr. Dre beat stuff. I'll buy it from you. Take it easy. I'll buy it now. I'll take over and I'm going to make 25 times what you made. That's how they do. Because this is their world right now. And if you don't want to accept it, you're just going to make yourself miserable, and you're going to make yourself depressed by not believing that this is their world, man. You have to accept that. But the next one's ours, though. This one's theirs. The next world is ours. And they ain't going to be able to do none of the things that we do in their world. In our world, they ain't going to be able to. People worship us in their world. We've got fans in their world, man. They ain't going to have none of that in our world. They ain't going to have none of that. Verse 11. Let our strength, in fact, verse 10, let us oppress the poor righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient grey hairs of age. And that's why they always come up against us, man. They're always trying to bother us. They're always trying to disturb us. They're always trying to be in our proximity, right? You might go to the park right in the corner, chilling off. They'll go there when there ain't nothing there, but they'll go there just to be by you because they're weird like that. You might go to a restaurant, right, and go to the part where you might be by the toilet, man. You might go in there and sit by where the toilet is, which is the worst place to go in a restaurant. Everyone knows this. But you might, let's say you went by that part. Now Esau's going to think that's the best part to go. Just because you went there when it was empty. He'll be like, well, I'm going to go there too now. They're just weirdos. You might go, Jake might go to a bar for Jakes that still do that kind of thing. They might go to a bar and Esau's going to take his funky ass over there trying to talk to them. When we don't want to talk to you. And I ain't saying I go to bars. I don't. But I'm just using examples of how these Edomites want to bother us all the time, man. Verse 11, let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. And that's Esau's, if it bleeds, I can kill it spirit, man. If it bleeds, I can kill it. So I don't care about whether you say I did anything wrong. That's how they think when they watch these Hebrew Israelite videos. They're like, well, I don't really care about what you say I've did wrong because as far as I can tell, you ain't got no military, so who cares what you've got to say? Who cares ultimately? Ultimately, they're like, who cares? Okay, you got a problem with how we're handling this stuff? Okay, but what are you going to do about it really though? Like, okay, what you're saying we're doing is wrong. Okay, that's fine. Maybe it is, but what are you going to do about it? That's what they think. That's their mindset. They're like, okay, you're saying this and that is wrong. Okay, it's wrong that we did this and we did that, but what are you going to do about it though? That's their mind, man. Verse 12, let us lie in wait for the righteous. Let us lie in wait for the righteous because he is not for our turn and is clean, contrary to our doing so. Where our life is supposed to be better than theirs morally. And that was the point I was trying to get to, man. An Israelite's life is supposed to be better than the Edomite's life morally. An Edomite's not supposed to look at you and be like, oh, yeah, you're just like me. No, we ain't just like you. Our moral code is better than yours. We ain't with the same things that you're with. You're with alphabet community. You're with alphabeting and rainbowing. We ain't with alphabeting and rainbowing, man. We ain't with that. We ain't with that, man. We're with wanting to have multiple wives. You're not with wanting to have multiple wives. You're with a man having to go out, strive and get as much money as he can, right? To be able to be with one wife for his whole life. And then every single time that wife's on a cycle, he's got to just not deal with a woman now. That's what you think that we're supposed to do. That's this world's mindset. And then if the wife doesn't want to be with the husband no more, she can leave him and get more than half. And then after she gets that more than half, he's still got to pay for more and more things in their life. That's Esau's way of living. That ain't our way. I would never do that if I was in charge of this world. There would be no way, if I was in charge to make rules in this world, that I would say that that's what men should have to suffer. No chance. I would not make that be a law. That would get ruled out of the book straight away. That would never be happening. But under Esau's world, that's it, because they're against us, man. Our ways are clean, contrary to their doings, right? He upbraideth us without offending the law, and objective to our infamy the transgressions of our education. He professeth to have the knowledge of God, and he calleth himself the child of the Lord. He was made to reprove our thoughts, so our way is supposed to be opposite to their way, because we are opposite to them. We go back to Jacob, they go back to Esau. And that was two different nations, two separate manner of people. Verse 15, he is grievous unto us even to behold, right? His life is not like other men's. His ways are another fashion, because they can't even look at us and say we're like Moab or we're like Ishmael. We ain't like none of them people. We ain't like none of these people, man. And no matter how close it might look like we're like these people, there'll always be something off. Because these people always want to try and join off with us. Oh, no. It doesn't really matter about the name of the God. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does matter. Just like how our names matter. You can't come up to somebody that's name's Andrew talking about, you're right, Derek. You're right, Del. He ain't going to be trying to hear that. He's going to be like, no, my name's Andrew. Back up, man. You can't go up to somebody that's name's Marcus and be like, you're right, Jack. You're right, Jack. He ain't going to accept that. And you can't come to Yahweh calling him any other name and expect him to accept that. He ain't going to accept that. Because even men don't accept that. Men always, it's actually pronounced Hector, not Hector. You know, they'll always go with all that. People are always trying to correct people on their speech. But when it comes to the name of the Lord, they think they can try and come another way. Nah. You can't try and blend up and make out like you're the same as us, because your God, some of you people's gods, allow you to eat camel. Our God don't allow us to eat camel. So although you say your God doesn't allow you to eat pork, but your God allows you to eat camel though. Or your God allows you to eat prawns. Our God don't allow us to eat prawns. Our God don't allow us to eat camel. So we ain't of the same thing. We ain't of the same thing. Our God gave us the Day of Atonement. Your God gave you something else. But our God gave us the Day of Atonement, man. Not whatever you're talking about with your gods. Our God isn't a cow. Some of you people's gods are cows. Our God's not an elephant. Some of you people's gods are elephants. You know? Our God ain't an elephant. But some of you people's gods out there are. So we ain't the same as you people, man. You can't compare what our God's telling us to do with what your God's telling you to do, man. Verse 16, we are esteemed of him as counterfeits. He abstaineth from our ways and from filthiness. He professeth the end of the just to be blessed, and maketh his boast that God is his father, and the end of the just is blessed, man. But people don't believe it. But let me jump to this, man. Verse 21, such things did they imagine and were deceived, for their own wickedness have blinded them. Now, let me jump to verse 17. Let us see if his words be true. Let us prove what shall happen in the end of him. So they're going to get so angered by seeing how we act, right, and the things that we say, that they're going to want to do a experiment on that. Okay, these people are saying that if we behead them, that Yahweh's still going to come back anyway. So let's do an experiment. You know we like experiments anyway. They're going to try and test the waters, man. They're going to do that because they're wicked. Verse 21, such things, in fact, verse 18, for if the just man be the son of God, he will help him and deliver him from the hand of his enemies. So they're going to want to see if they can do something to us that will cause for Yahweh to show up. And they're going to try it out, and they're going to find out that that is what's going to happen, man. And then when Yahweh Shai shows up, they're going to regret that they ever tested it. They're going to regret that they ever pulled the card that we did the thing that we said was going to cause for Yahweh Shai to show up, which is that World War III, them ICBMs. That is going to be the catalyst of causing for Yahweh Shai to come back. The Karagma and all of these things, that's part of it too, but the ICBMs don't come until the Karagma's been made mandatory, but it's ultimately the ICBMs that is going to be the thing that's going to cause for Yahweh Shai to come back. But the Karagma is the catalyst to the ICBMs, because the ICBMs are the judgment for the people in the world, especially in America, that have taken the charagma. And when that charagma is placed on everybody, that it needs to be placed on and refused by everyone that's going to refuse, then Yahweh Shai is going to show up. And that's according to prophecy. That's prophecy that's going to happen, man. I'm going to end the lesson there. Right? All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Makar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. Shalom.